Hello and welcome to this episode of the Practical Reinforcement Learning series. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up the environment and install all the packages we need for the programming exercises in this course. So the first thing we're going to do is to follow the outline, the list that we have on the screen, by first creating a directory where we're going to keep all our projects, and we also create a virtual environment. We would activate it. We install Jupyter notebooks. We install Numpy, matplotlib, OpenAI Gym, and we will create one notebook, and then we will import all the packages to confirm that they are actually working. And once this is done, you will have the complete environment set up so that you can start practicing with the programming exercises. So over here in my terminal, I'm going to create a folder because the first thing here is to create a folder called PRL, which means Practical Reinforcement Learning. You can call it whatever you want. I will call my PRL. So I'm going to make a folder called PRL and I will cd into it. And over here, I'm going to create a virtual environment. And I assume that you know Python already, and so you know what a virtual environment is. But just in case you don't know what it is just an isolated instance of Python that you create per project, so that you don't you don't install packages into your global Python installation. For example, if you're working on two projects, chances are that they might depend on different versions of your dependencies, and you don't want to have one global dependency that might work for project A and not work for project B. So the solution that virtual environment brings is that it helps you to create a separate Python instance for every project that you are working on. And so you create a virtual environment, you activate it, and then from the point of activation, every package that you install is actually getting installed in the isolated instance and not your global Python installation. So I'm going to use Python 3 and I'll say minus env. So this is how you invoke the virtual env module, and I'm creating a virtual env called env. And note that after creating the folder, I cd'd into the PRL folder. So make sure you cd into whatever project name you gave to your folder. So if I come here now, I have an env folder that is a complete and fresh Python instance that I'm going to use for all the exercises of this course. So the next action on the list is to actually activate it. So to activate it, I'm going to say source env bin activate. And so now if I do which Python 3, you can see that the Python is actually coming from the PRL folder, the virtual environment we created, and there is a Python interpreter in there. So anytime I invoke Python 3 after I have activated my virtual environment, it is what will be used. So let's see the next item. It is to install Jupyter notebook. So I'll do pip3 install Jupyter, and so based on your internet connection speed, this might take a while, but hopefully it is not going to take a long time. So I am waiting for Jupyter notebooks to get installed, and it is done. So let me check the next thing on the list. The next thing is to install Numpy. So I'm going to say pip3 install Numpy, and Numpy is a numerical computational library for Python. And in the very first video, I mentioned that I assume you already know Numpy, and even if you don't know it, I will give you a crash course into that, so that should be fine. So the next thing is to pip install matplotlib, and we're going to use matplotlib to plot graphs. And when it comes to AI, we always plot graphs to be able to see a pattern of how our agent's performance is improving over time. And the next thing we are going to install is OpenAI Gym. Before we install that, I want to show you what OpenAI Gym is. So you go to gym.openai.com, and this is how they describe themselves. They say Gym is a toolkit for developing and comparing reinforcement learning algorithms. So basically, they have a lot of environments for you to practice your agents on. So they have environment for trying to teach a robot to walk, balancing a cart pole, trying to move a car forward, and they have lots of Atari games. So you can actually build an AI agent that plays a game on its own. So for example, as you can see here, it is playing Space Invaders, and this is an agent that has been trained to play Space Invaders. So these are some of the wonderful things that we will learn how to accomplish in this course. So I'm going to install that by saying in pip install gem, and whilst gem is getting installed, the next point is to actually start Jupyter notebooks. And the idea here is to create a new notebook and import all these packages that we've installed, just to confirm that our installations actually worked. And that will be it for this video. So OpenAI gem has finished, and so I'm going to run Jupyter notebook. And so this is going to start the Jupyter Notebook server, and it is opening it in a browser for me. So Jupyter Notebooks is a browser-based UI where we are able to interactively create Python programs, and it is very important for any data scientist out there or anyone practicing AI, in the sense that it gives you an environment for you to try things out, build different models, try different algorithms, and then once you figured out which one works best for you, you can actually write your complete Python script to do the work. But until then, Jupyter Notebooks offers you an interactive environment for you to play around with different algorithms. So what I'm going to do here, I'll click on New Python 3, and I'm going to rename this for, I'll call it environment check. So this is just to check that our installations were successful. So I'll call it environment check notebook. Now we installed Numpy, so let's import it. So I'll say import Numpy as MP, and then we also import matplotlib. So matplotlib.pyplot as plt, and we also installed gem. So I'll say import gem, and then the way to execute a cell. So in Jupyter Notebooks, you write your code in cells, and the way to execute a cell is to press Shift and Enter together. And once no error has been reported, it means that you have successfully set up your environment and you've been able to actually import Numpy, gem, and matplotlib, which we will use in subsequent videos. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next episode.